Again, I still feel conflicted in a lot of ways. And someone put it. There was a Liberty comment, a Liberty fan comment. Somebody put it like, you can be happy for the team and happy for the players, but I still can't respect the win. And that's exactly how I feel. I still can't respect the win, but I'm like happy for the players, you know? But my kind of respect keeps keeps getting leveled down like the more I see and the more comments I hear, and we're going to get into some of them made by Coach Sandy, and then there was a video of Sabrina being asked about the call. I'm going to play that for you as well. I'm just going to give my reactions to it because I'm not liking some of the comments. I'm just not liking, bro. I'm not liking. I really don't. Let's go ahead and get into this press conference. This was the post game for Game 5.
No.
Just close that door for me. Just close that door, please. Thank you.
The Moet goggles, I'm not gonna lie. The Moet goggles, they're kind of tough. I like how they got the different sponsors. Like Stewie got Puma goggles and shit.
All right, everybody, we'll begin right away with questions. And the first question will come from second row.
Yara, man. I'm gonna chill out. I'm gonna chill out. Hey, we all happy and shit, right? We all happy and shit, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Sandy. Yeah. We all happy and shit. Let's get into it.
Come back, go overtime, you hit 2 free throws.
I know Niyar up there not gonna take shit seriously.
Didn't do. What does it need to bring New York its first championship ever?
I've been like manifesting this moment for a while.
Manifesting.
And there's no feeling like it. You know, this game, and credit to Minnesota because they gave us a tough series. And the fans have been amazing everywhere we've gone. But to be able to bring a championship to New York, first ever in franchise history, it's an incredible feeling. And I literally can't wait to continue to celebrate with the city because I know it's gonna like be bonkers.
The audio is kind of messed up.
Bonkers. Back, right?
Next question, standing along the wall to the right.
Thanks. Hi, guys. Brianna, first of all, when the shots are not falling as they were not for you to be able to contribute in so many other ways tonight, what was going through your mind during all of that? And Sandy, what was going through your mind during all that, watching Brianna doing what she was doing in all the other ways tonight?
You know, I knew, and I came in with a game plan of like, it doesn't matter. I want to play defense, I want to rebound, I want to do the little things, and I'll continue to be aggressive and shoot my shots, but like, if they're not falling, they're not falling. And I'm not going to let that affect the way I do things, so continuing to be there for my team. And I feel like, Doug, I didn't talk about this, but before I made the free throws, I missed 2 free throws. Yeah, it's fine. Because I was like, no, I can't do this again. I can't. I have to be here. And Olaf, him and I have talked about like being a python, where it's like, you know your moment when to strike. And at that moment, I was just thinking about being a python.
Good job.
Yeah. Listen, I really want to be a python.
Oh, and yeah.
Next question.
And sorry. JJ can come and sit up here, JJ.
Oh, bring the final MVP up here. Come on. What?
JJ got the big bottle. JJ got the big bottle.
Fourth and fifth row in the back there.
Hey Sandy, over here.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Cheryl came in earlier and said that she felt this championship had been stolen from them because of the officiating. I'm just wondering if you had any thoughts on the reffing today.
I thought they were pretty fair. I mean, after the last game, you know, I mean, that's what you got to give and take. Like, game number 1, we should have won that game, you know, close it out. But look, I have so much respect for Cheryl, and I have so much respect for that Minnesota Lynx team, because man, I mean, that was ugly, but we found a way to win. And so I'm really proud of our team, how resilient we were, how we stuck together, how we continued to trust each other, and that was our word today, just trust the process. And we found a way to win. And going back to Shuey, you know, she did miss 2 free throws, which is rare for her. But in that 5 seconds ago, she said, I'm going to make them. And I'm like, okay, good. I was praying, but it worked.
Next question, second row, center right.
Congratulations, you guys. Sandy, I'm hoping you can talk a little bit about how this one felt the same or different than the championship that you won in Phoenix. Niara, if you can just talk a little bit about what it means to have bragging rights over your sister and having that championship.
I'm going to turn it off right there. I'm going to turn it off right there. That's wild. That is a wild response. That is such a wild response, joking or not joking. Wow. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because, you know, a lot of things, a lot of positions and people got saved by this championship. So I'm not too surprised by her response, but I am not even disappointed, but I am like, hold up. Wait, hold up. This is my problem. This is not even like a Coach Sandy thing or New York Liberty thing, but this is my overall problem. If you're going to what did I say in my live stream? I said blaming the refs should always be the last straw. Meaning everything you do in game, all the critiques you have of the game or a game didn't go your way. I actually feel part of the contract for a head coach should be not to blame the refs. Like, you get fined for it and like here and there and certain stuff like that. But I actually think part of the contract for coaches should be, and I don't know how I feel about it for players, but like let them blame the refs on the court, whatever. But part of the contract for coaches should be not to blame any referees or any game officials. Because this is exactly why I said don't go blaming the refs. That should be the last straw. It should be the last straw. Because now you look stupid if you don't stay on 100. If you're going to complain about the refs when they're bad, when things aren't going for you, you better do the same thing when things do go for you. The problem is coaches, players, people keep thinking that, oh, if I call out the refs when things go right for me, that takes away from my win. That doesn't validate my win. That's not true. At the end of the day, you're still a champ. At the end of the day, you've still won. It doesn't take away anything for you to be honest. You're still a champion at the end of the day. And we're going to get into the video of Sabrina responding to the comments, but I don't like that comment from Sandy. To laugh as if she wasn't bawling after game 4. As if she wasn't crying after game 4. That's so no. You don't. This is why I said every piece of criticism turn internally. I could have been better as a coach. The team could have been better with this and that. You turn, because when you get to the end where you actually have to make a complaint against the coaches, because let's say the script was flipped. Let's say it was us that took that loss, that had that egregious call made against us. Do you think Coach Sandy is coming in there talking about, I think the reffing was fair? No, she's not. So I know she's joking and stuff, but put those jokes aside. I don't even want to hear that. You would be crying if that call happened against us. So why aren't you standing on the same business you were standing on in game 4? There were a bunch of F-bombs and bloodies dropped after game 4. Where's that now? Just because you won doesn't mean you don't have to be honest. That's called fair play. That's called respect. I don't like that. I don't like that answer at all. I don't like that answer at all. And this entire time I've been talking about how a team stays grounded. The entire time I'm talking about how I don't like when the New York Liberty social media team only posting after we win. Post those final scores after we lose. Because that's important. That's how you stay level. That's how you stay on 100 at all times. That's despicable, man. This is exactly why I say stop blaming the refs. And of all things too, in a close game. In a close game. And here's the one thing I never understood, and I think I said this back when I was reacting to game 4. Coach Sandy, you had that game in the bag. That's the game we're going to complain about the refs about? And then she was talking about game 1. Oh, game 1 shouldn't have, gone into overtime. What? Am I missing something? I get you're hiding behind a championship, okay? You, Stewie, Sab, y'all like the main 3 hiding behind this ring. I get that. Okay, I get that. I get the fear of your job being in jeopardy without this championship. I get why you want to hide behind it. I get why you want to use it as a mask. But again, no one's asking you to return the title. No one's asking you to give the title back. You're still going to be a champion. Not being honest there, it doesn't make you less of a champion. It just makes you a more respectable one. That's called fair play. Look up all the football compilations on YouTube of fair play acts. When a team says, no, that call wasn't right by the ref, they'll kick the ball out of bounds. Oh, there was a penalty. That shouldn't have been a penalty. They'll kick the ball away from the goal. A player is injured on the field. They could go for a goal chance. They can make a chance for themselves. They kick the ball out of bounds. They're actually correcting rights. No one's asking Coach Sandy to correct rights. To correct wrong, sorry. No one's asking Coach Sandy to do that. But if you're going to bawl, if you're going to cry after game 4 of all games, game 4, as if you didn't have multiple opportunities to win that game, as if you were putting on a coaching masterclass in game 4, you want to ball after game 4 and you get asked about the call, and that's how you respond? I don't know if she off the moet or not, but she here laughing at Coach Reeve when, if you're complaining about game 4, if we lost game 5 as we were on track to doing, would Sandy be up here laughing? Would Coach Sandy be up here laughing? That's I'm going to go ahead and play the video of Sabrina responding to the Lynx being robbed comments.
This game felt robbed.
I mean, we're champions. I think that's part of a playoffs. If you've watched any series, officiating never goes the way that you want it. We could have said the same thing about game 4. And that's kind of part of winning. Like, a lot of things have to go right. We're thankful for the opportunity to call ourselves champions, and no one's going to remember what call was made when. All we know is we're in the history books forever.
First of all, I said this before. We're not going to expect Sabrina Miss 1 of 19 of all people, to be honest about this call here. But again, this is where I'm losing respect for my team. There's no way we were this okay. You've been to back-to-back finals and you were on the verge of losing them. Like, okay, it's good progress, Coach Sandy. It's good progress. But you can't tell me we're that thirsty for a championship that we can't even call out a wrong. Again, no one's asking us to give the title back. Okay, are you afraid of your title being looked at or seen as undisputed or not undisputed? It's because it is. That's the reality we have to live with. We have a championship where we're probably going to have to get another one again just to validate it. That's just the reality. But are we so thirsty to win that we can't be honest? We just can't call a wrong. Why are we expecting Sabrina to be honest? Once I said this in the live stream, I said Sabrina would have been getting it worse than Klay Thompson if we lost that game. And as far as I'm concerned, like, that doesn't feel like I I don't count that as a win anyway. So it kind of does feel like a loss. And this is the difference between my mentality and this team's. That's the difference. I would have sat up there and been like, hell yeah, they got robbed. I would have said, hell yeah, they got fleeced. That call was egregious. The player sitting there next to Coach Reeve not saying nothing, that wouldn't have been me. I would have gone off. I would have left the season fined all the way up. Fine me, because what was coming out of my mouth was not going to be nice. But guess what? At the end of the day, you're the champ. It doesn't take anything away from you. No one can take this championship away from you. The championship, your championship title isn't going anywhere. But I could sit up there and say, yeah, that call was egregious. If I was on the other side, I think that call was egregious too. But you know what? We found a way to win the game. It's just that simple. It's that simple. Yes, the call was horrible. I wouldn't have liked that call if I was on the other team, but we found a way to win the game. So no one's saying to give back your title. No one's saying, oh, my championship ain't worth shit. But at least you're respectful enough to understand that if I was on this different position, because this was an external decision, this was nothing to do with the game. This was an external decision. An external factor entered in the game. The same thing I talked about in the live stream. This wasn't just, people keep confusing this as like a bad call, or the refs, or as Sab said, the refs make bad calls, bad officiating. It's not bad officiating when the officials no longer make it about the game. Bad calls, there are bad calls. What do we know about bad calls? Bad calls most of the time are accidental, mistakenly. That's not a bad call. That challenge and not overturning that challenge, even though you're supposed to and you know you're supposed to overturn that challenge, that makes it a purposeful bad call. Those are two different things. Bad calls are a part of the game, yes. Purposeful bad calls are not a part of the game. They're not a part of it. So to group purposeful with bad calls with something, to group something that's not part of the game with something that is part of the game, that's where everyone's getting it wrong, including our players. That's where everyone's getting it wrong. I don't expect Sab to be honest about that. Again, we all know why. And it's not that I don't expect Coach Sandy to not be honest about that either, but I understand why she wouldn't be. I understand why she wouldn't just have the same complaints. I understand why. Stewie hasn't really been asked about that, so like Stewie's alone, like on her by herself by that. But I understand why for Sab, and I understand why for Coach Sandy. And this has been my entire problem with this team since she got here. Then my entire problem. You got here and it hasn't been accountability. Not accountability to the fact that, oh, you don't hold yourself accountable or I could be better, but accountability as in you don't run from challenges. You have to stay on 100 at all times. You don't hide shit, because the same way Coach Sandy's hiding behind this championship now, the same way she was hiding Sab from developing her into a true traditional point guard. And what do the New York Liberty need? A traditional point guard. You don't get that by moving Sabrina to the 2. So you see how all of these things just actually they're connected, they're interconnected, because it's the same mentality. It's the same mentality. It's the same mentality. It's not, accountability might not be the best word there, but the same mentality we have of things that we're supposed to work on, things that are within our control. We have a hard time deciphering what is and what isn't. So now when we get this handout, we're afraid to admit that it's a handout. And the fact that we're running with that and just going on a cappuccino run with that, it just doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't sit well with me. So I could be happy for the players that we won a championship, but I can't respect the win. I can't respect the win, because I'll tell you the real reason I can't respect the win. At the time of external influence, we were losing. and definitely weren't even in a good shape to draw out a win. But at the time, I'm not going to try to predict no future or nothing. At the time of external influence, we were losing. So in my book, we were losing. I'm not saying we were going to lose because obviously we don't know. We don't know what would have happened. But at the time of external influence, we were losing. So that's all I can go off of. That's why I can't respect that win. Because like I said again, it's not the Liberty's fault. It's not the Lynx's fault. It's the ref's fault. It's the ref's fault for screwing over the outcome we would have deserved. And we don't know whether that's win or loss. All I do know is that at that time, we were losing. That's going to do it for this video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Peace.